one of the more marquee matchups of the weekend, I would say. Ravens going to Dallas, playing the Cowboys. And Aisha, I know you guys knew coming into this one, like the Ravens had to have this game. They started 0-2. Certainly the backs were against the wall going into Dallas against this Cowboys team that you thought would have fought back a little bit more after what happened last week against the Saints. And then pretty much for most of the afternoon, this looked like it was headed towards a blowout, and it really was a blowout until the Cowboys finally got things going in the fourth quarter, recovered an onside kick, made it interesting, almost had a chance to win. But you take us through it and what you guys witnessed and experienced today.
Oh man. So yeah, like you mentioned, coming to this game, we talk about how many changes are going on in the NFL right now. The Ravens, they came in, they have a new OC, they have a new DC, they're experiencing some changes, got some new guys on the offensive line. So you've seen them in games kind of still trying to sort things out as well. And if you look at the games that they've lost, they've been right there, dude. It's just been like one little mistake, one little thing here, whatever. But they've given up these leads late in the game, whether that be with mental focus or whatever. But man, like, no, the Raiders just came in, and the Ravens just came in and they had a plan. I mean, they clearly saw some of the things that the Saints had success with, running the ball, attacking the edges, and things like that, stretching this Dallas defense. And they were able to get after it early with the RPO. I mean, you literally saw the Cowboys defenders, specifically the edges, just visibly frustrated with how difficult it is to play a Lamar Jackson and how much you have to prepare for him and how shifty he can be. But as far as Dallas, I mean, what we're seeing from them, I know the people who cover them, this is nothing surprising to us. They didn't take seriously the running back position in the offseason. They didn't take seriously getting DTs in the offseason and being able to fill those gaps. And you're really just seeing a trickle down effect through the whole defense specifically. They gave up 275 yards on the ground today, 3 TDs. I mean, it's just kind of a whirlwind of craziness right now, and you're seeing guys overcompensate, not play their position, not jumping out of gaps, bad angles, bad tackling, and everything. And it just seems like they're playing very uninspired football at this point. From the offensive side of things, you do have two rookies on that offensive line, but really where this offense is struggling is in the run game, specifically not being able to get anything going. I mean, the Cowboys running backs kind of leave a lot to be desired as far as being able to be explosive in the open field and make something out of nothing. And with this run blocking scheme and how they're doing things, they're not getting enough positive yardage there. And when you talk about the receiving side of things, yeah, they want to do some plays downfield. They want to do some things to get these teams out of shell and stuff, but you don't have a deep threat that you're threatening right now. And also, too, I mean, your tackles, Terrence Steele and Tyler Guyton have really struggled this last couple of games, and it's really speeding up the quarterback. So we're in a weird place right now, brethren. Listen, I'm not even gonna hold y'all right now because the thing about DT specifically is it's almost too late to fix it because nobody's gonna ransom a DT to you. DT is almost a luxury at this point in the NFL. And I'm talking about the nose tackle. I'm not talking about three techs because everybody got one of them now. We're talking about like straight up. I can stay in and I'm going to draw double teams. The Cowboys DTs are not even drawing double teams right now. So everyone's playing straight up. These linebackers are having to do so much, and it's just a bad look, fellas. Like I'm telling you, right, I don't have a whole bunch nice to say. Got to get in this film and grind it out. And then we saw CeeDee Lamb today, visibly upset, frustrated about what was going on. He didn't have a great game. I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, Dallas has a lot to fix in a little bit of time, but what's the most frustrating about it is that these are all things that we talked about needed to be addressed in the offseason. And per Jerry today, it's fine. We don't have a personnel problem. Everything's cool. Everything's fine. And it is disappointing because Mike Zimmer coming in, you would think, Dallas has had issues with discipline and, guys playing hero ball and stuff like that, not being able to stop the run. So Zimmer coming in, we thought that we were going to get a little bit more of that standard that was set and stuff like that, but we're not seeing that right now. Quite honestly, these guys look far worse than what they did last year, and I don't see it getting any better given the personnel that they have currently. So pray if you care.
Pray. Well, Fran might care. This is your division, man. What are your thoughts on the Cowboys through 3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that they were going to have trouble against this Ravens team just because of the Ravens being back against the wall. They're 0-2. They did not want to fall to 0-3, and I know that they had problems along the offensive line, but this is a team that historically wants to go in and play bully ball. And after watching what the Saints did to Dallas in that front last week, I thought that Baltimore would come in and try and own the line of scrimmage. Aisha talked about the issues that Dallas is having on the interior and at the second level. This is something that went back to last year as a part of their demise in the playoffs and down the stretch, and something that was not addressed by this front office and by this team going in through the entire offseason. And so it was not a shock to me to see Baltimore jump out to that early lead. We were doing the post-game show here with PHLY Eagles, and we're just keeping an eye on it. It's like, all right, 7-0, 14-3, 21-3. It was just like, yeah, like this is exactly how I anticipated this to go. So not a shock. Everything that Aisha is saying, it's everything that I was not surprised to see over the course of this football game.
Yeah, and Dallas is not a team that is in a position to be able to play from behind right now. They don't got it, and that's why they took the ball to start. And I mean, the untimely penalties and in the red zone and stuff like that. You might not have turned the ball over, but these are drive killers. That you're having come up in these key moments. Anytime they would gain some momentum, it would be a penalty. And again, you guys talked about the Fangio defense. Listen, that's what most defenses are daring you to do now. That's why we got people talking about don't do too high shell, don't no more of that, because it does take the excitement out of football, because it's guaranteeing that you are going to be methodical, going down the field, eating the clock, and they're just betting on you to make a mistake. And guess who's going to make one? The Cowboys. It's them. That they're going to make a mistake in the worst time. So, I mean, you're just not getting, like I said, the run is not helping at all. The quarterback is having to do a lot. I mean, quite honestly, the Ravens were 26 coming in this game against play action. We know that secondary can be good, but they have struggled also in this new scheme. And Dallas didn't take advantage of that at all. But you can't, because nobody gives a nothing about your run game at this point. So I think they're averaging like 3.2 yards a carry on the ground across the board. It's just not enough. And so it's just Dak to the rescue, and that's kind of what you saw later in that game. That's the only reason why they had a chance in that game, because Dak Prescott kind of was like, you know what? All right, let's go.
Yeah, thank you to Dak for finally putting some fantasy points on the board once I moved him to my bench this week, and he piled up the stats in the fourth quarter. Very nice of him.
We all silly like the mayor.